My dad was in the Navy, and he told me how hard it was not to be able to be home for his mother's funeral. And these guys are enhancing our way of life, making possible our way of life, and how can we thank them and be good to them in return? Twin Ports Ministry to Seafarers is a volunteer organization. When a ship comes into port, we try and have a ship visitor in a van down to the ship within an hour of its tying up at one of the terminals. They usually ask us, well, when does the van come? And we say, no, when do you need us? We'll make a point of being here.
Sometimes forget about the fourth coast of the U.S. when you look at a map. When you look at the West Coast, Gulf Coast, East Coast, the fourth coast is the Great Lakes. And we're the gateway, we're the westernmost port, largest port. And so we're the gateway into and out of Central North America. Commerce started shipping in 1871, pretty much grain going to the lower lakes. And iron ore started, I think, in the 1890s, and of course a lot of lumber. Up until 1959, when the seaway opened, the port was pretty much an intra-North American port, shipping to and from either eastern U.S. or eastern Canada on the 5 Great Lakes. When the seaway opened in 1959, that opened up the harbor to international trade and in the saltwater ships that we see here today.
Back in 1966, there was a grain millers strike in Duluth, and the Duluth community began to see these ships piling up and then just staying out on the lake just off the ship canal. And because of the strike, the ships couldn't move, and there they were at anchor, as it's called. And in time, provisions ran short on the ship. Mariners had been a long time away from their families already, but they were feeling quite stranded and not able to communicate to their families what was going on and so forth. And they had some particular needs for medicine or food or supplies or a variety of things on the ship. And a young pastor by the name of Norbert Mockros, who was associate pastor, just newly had come up to Duluth to Concordia Lutheran Church, was particularly moved to say, what can we do? And so he started having conversations with other clergy and said, we ought to get some volunteers to do something to assist.
That's when the Seafarers ministry got started.
When the ship comes in, we deliver telephones, calling cards, and Wi-Fi if it works. And I give them my telephone number, my cell phone number, and ask them what they need while they're here. Привет is hi, привет, and здравствуй is hello. Half of the sailors are from the Philippine Islands. The second group, largest group of sailors are Slavs, Poles, Russians, and Ukrainians, so I can communicate with them.
Do miasta jest daleko, to krótko się stoi.
Yeah, he says that the Seamen's Mission or Seafarers Center is important because they're here a short period of time, and the help comes. Like yesterday, they were buying food, and they were going to be short a little bit, and a couple of bikes so they can exercise.
Oh, in Principolo jest Polish, it's very good. Proszę bardzo.
At sea we are alone. My family is not joined. I have 5 children. Youngest is a boy, 13 years.
I have 4 children. I think about what it would have been like to have not been able to see them for the first 2 or 4 or 6 months, 8 months of their life. To go home and be there with them and then think, Daddy's got to go.
For days and nights now they battled, the sailors and the storm.
I can see them here. We have Wi-Fi, and they come and they talk to their families, their spouses and their children, and it's really something how emotional it is, how nice it is for them to be able to communicate.
This facility provides everything we need in terms of working with seafarers. We have a nice chapel in the back. We have ping pong and pool table space. We have a whole hallway that's got used clothing and books and magazines. You'd love to be here in the evening when you've got 4 or 5 guys sunk into the couch over there and another couch and just relaxed in t-shirts and jeans rather than their usual work clothes and laughing and telling stories. So this facility has really become a home away from home in a sense.
I remember one Christmas sailing out here on the lakes and getting a box, Christmas box from the Seafarers that had a scarf in it, a knit hat, and some other items. And I thought that was very cool. It was nice.
My wife comments that the language I'm good at is listening to English spoken by people who didn't learn it as their native tongue.
So you can see our happy faces.
Clothing, sporting goods, department stores, food, everything.
Yeah, everything is there.
Yep. But then up here, Best Buy. It's open till 9 o'clock, and then Target is open till 10 o'clock. My thinking is that we fit in a small way to a bigger urgency in the world, and that is the whole distrust and tension amongst nations.
That's what it takes. So if you meet somebody, regardless of what color, nationality, or language, if you get to know them, you find out that people are all the same.
We're really needing more volunteers.
If this mission were to go away, it would be a sad thing, I think, for the seafarer for sure, but also for the head of the lakes maritime community. As long as there's a vessel coming in here, we should be here too.